Today I'm feeling a little sick and fevery. The reason for that is last night I had to go to the A&E in Russia. I started shaking involuntarily. My whole body was spasming. I didn't know what it was. It was a bit scary because, we've just climbed a mountain. I'm thinking to myself, I'm in Russia. Have I caught some weird bug or something that I don't know about? We undertook something extreme that a lot of people wouldn't put themselves through, to be quite frank. So if I get a few germs along the way that make me feel a bit sick, then that's really not too bad.
Miss Europe World 2018 سوا United Kingdom Miss Europe World 2018 تلقائيا الوصيفة الأولى هي Miss Lithuania. Miss Lithuania, you are first runner up.
ألف مبروك لميس United Kingdom.
Sometimes I scare myself because I wake up and I just have a new idea, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go and do that. So I just woke up and was like, I want to go climb Europe's highest mountain with my Miss Europe sash, and I wanted to do something that, again, was symbolic, something that people are able to watch and hopefully get people outdoors themselves, get them doing maybe more charity work. I've worked in the modelling industry since I was 14 years old. I've also currently Miss Europe World. I went to America to work for Ford Models. I've represented England 5 times nationally, and I've won an international title for the UK. This isn't me boasting or telling you, I've done this, this and this, but for me this is actually a huge thing, because I was always told, you're never going to be a successful model, you're never going to be able to do modelling with a skin condition, you'll never be able to represent the country. And it's really cool that I have been able to. So I did this mountain for the British Skin Foundation. I've been an ambassador for the British Skin Foundation for 5 years now. And it's also personal because I have suffered with skin conditions myself, and I still do. I have eczema and psoriasis, but they are autoimmune system disorders which you can't get rid of them, they're for life. So this is really not that bad. That will always be there. I've never, for some reason, managed to get it off my elbows. And I did notice that this was a little bit smaller, but then from the stress, it started going up my arm a bit, if you can see. But like I said, it's not that bad. Like, some people have it all over their body all the time, and people believe that you're dirty. I've been called a leper. There's still a lack of education around skin conditions, and I just want to try and raise awareness for that by promoting the British Skin Foundation, promoting that I've had my own skin problems, and also to raise money for them.
Alright guys, I'm posted up here in Istanbul airport. We have about 5 hours to go until my connecting flight. LUISSA should be here in the next few hours, and then it's just the waiting game until then. And if you can't tell, I'm a little tired after a 12-hour flight with very little sleep.
I met with Aaron at Istanbul airport. I knew he was wearing a hat with the Holonus logo on, so I was just walking around the airport like, where's Aaron? And then I eventually found him.
What's up?
Hi.
Good to finally meet you.
Oh, the hat. I was looking for the hat. So
we joined up and we flew to Moscow, but didn't stop there. After Moscow, we had to fly again to Mineral Vody, and I know I kept talking to Aaron, he was really tired. But never mind.
3 planes later, we're in Mineral Vody. I think that's how you say it. And it's sunny. I thought it was going to be Zoe. I can't sit up.
So we had one night at a hotel in Mineral Vody, and we just had to completely conk out. We just went to sleep.
You barely get up these stairs with this stuff.
No, that's not a good start.
Well, we had 3 flights, and then we came home and had
about an hour's nap time, and now I've got to go for an interview, so pretty tired, but I think you are more tired, aren't you?
I'm pretty tired.
You had a 12-hour flight on top of what I've had, so I can't even imagine how you feel. But we're gonna get a good sleep today before we meet our expedition leader for tomorrow. Chicken breast and mushroom sauce. This is the most random breakfast menu. Look, borscht, sliced sausage with cheese. I think I'm gonna have. To be honest, I have no idea. I think I'm just gonna play it safe and go with some porridge. I'm so happy. Also, have you seen my new shoes? I didn't want to wear my walking boots everywhere, so I put my slippers on.
Our group arrived about an hour earlier than normal, so we had to, run back up the stairs. I'm spilling the coffee everywhere.
Way down.
Because I'm clumsy.
What in the...
Why am I so clumsy? Okay, so basically don't wear these, just gonna stick my walking boots. We took all of our luggage and met with our team for the first time. I just remember coming out of the hotel and I see this smiling face looking at me like, oh, nice to meet you guys. And that turned out to be Paul, who is our team leader, Paul Etheridge. He is an Englishman from the Lake District, and he used to be in the military. And I get into the van and I see all these smiling faces, and they turn out to be the people that we got to know very, very well over the next week or so, week to 10 days. And their names were Kieran, Anthony, Jack. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Didn't miss anyone.
We're on our way to the lodge now. It's gonna be, I think, about 3 to 4 hours of a drive, and then we're checking in. That's gonna be our initial base camp for the trip. And then pretty much from there, we just settle in, and then tomorrow is really day one of our trek.
I'm so excited. We're going up there.
All the way.
So cool.
There was a lot of touristy shops, but obviously Russian style, like Russian dolls. And you could just see in the background all these absolutely stunning mountains that we had to obviously climb up. Aaron, guess what?
What's up?
And we're climbing up the mountain today. We're climbing up the mountain today. We're climbing up the mountain. Climbing up the mountain. We're climbing up the mountain today. Woo! Oh my God. He didn't sleep very well last night, but wake up!
I'm still excited.
Let's go!
And you might have any of those feelings that, as I say, you might feel if you had a bit of a heavy night. So whatever you've experienced personally the day after is the same sort of symptoms as what you would have at altitude. You know, we don't want to be thinking about this fluid on the lungs, this swelling of the brain, because these are situations that, you can't reverse, and we won't expect it in the first 2 or 3 days. And if we've got to that stage, descent is clearly, the only option that we have.
We just had our first walk up one of our acclimatization peaks, which means that we have to get used to the altitude before we can take on the summit. And essentially what we're doing is walking relatively slowly to give our body time to adjust, because otherwise you start feeling like bad headaches. Our guide was saying you can get fluid in the brain if you don't acclimatise properly, and all these horrible nasty symptoms, and essentially you have to descend if you don't acclimatise properly. So we have to get all these in. We've got 2 more peaks after this, haven't we? So yeah.
The left one is the west peak, it's the highest peak.
21 meters different between the west and the
He was just saying we are just touching 3,000 right now.
Is that Elbrus? Yeah. Is that first peak? We're about 3,100 meters. So this is going to be really good for helping us tomorrow when we do another peak. So we shouldn't find it as difficult initially until we start going higher than this again. I'm actually feeling pretty good. There was a couple of moments where I was just like a bit out of breath and I was like, oh, but I feel good, and I think the next few days we'll just gradually get better. So I am here today with one of my teammates called Jack, who's from, where are you from?
Scunthorpe.
From Scunthorpe, and I'm so excited to have the pleasure of climbing this mountain with you. Jack, if you would like to tell us a little bit about why you're here and what your motivation is.
So I'm here just for the challenge of climbing Elbrus. I've had experience with a few treks in the past, and yeah, I loved each of them. So yeah, I'd like to have a bit more of a challenge on Elbrus. Yeah, so I'm registered blind. I lost my eyesight 11 years ago now, and so I've had to adapt since then. But as I said, I've managed to still keep very active, and so in terms of on the mountain, I'm walking one-to-one with a guide and pointing out anything I need to be aware of, steps, and then in contact with the guide or a rope to the guide and able to climb the mountain. Adjustments have to be made, like I said, walking one-to-one with a guide, so it's just more just saying how to do it and then finding a way around it rather than like looking at the obstacles first and then Are you good?
I'm trying to get out of bed. I'm so tired today.
Alright, so today's agenda is to move up to upper base camp. So we're loading all of our gear into this van so that we can head up to the gondolas, which is right over there. And we are tired, but we are so excited because now we are going to be up at higher elevation. We are going to be staying in a place that is just in sight of the actual summit itself. Here we go.
Let's go! You excited?
Oh man. I wish I could show it more, but I'm just still waking up.
We are at the chairlift now, and it's essentially not running, and we're not supposed to be using it, but we need to get up to our higher base camp. So one of the ladies who is running our tour group is currently persuading the Russian operators of the chairlift to see if we can use it. So we might just be starting a chairlift up just for us. Ski pass, we did it, we've got access.
This many time?
Elbrus? 210 in the West Peak.
210. Wow. If you're wondering why we're in a chairlift, it's because when you're climbing a mountain, you have to go up to acclimatise, climb high, and then go back down to sleep low. So the first 2 days we've been climbing high, the first day, and then going back down, and the second day we climbed even higher up into the snow. We're using our crampons and ice picks, and then believe it or not, we have to go back down, and this is to stop us making feel like rubbish essentially, and this is the same with any mountain. So now we are officially moving all of our stuff, and as you can see here, food, supplies, water, up to our second base camp where we're going to be camping out, staying, and planning our summit, as well as doing one more acclimatization trek.
Yeah, I like that. This way.
Now as the chairlifts only go so high, we're having to haul the gear the last few hundred meters up to our actual barrel camp, which will be our upper staging area for ascent day. Which means we're gonna have to take a few trips because we have to carry all of our food, all of our water, and everything we're gonna need for the next 3 to 4 days. Maybe up to 5 if the weather doesn't allow us to summit right away. So, as you can tell, it's a little hard to breathe up here.
So we went up to a higher base camp, which was essentially tin crates. I don't know if you've ever seen cargo trucks, but on the back of a lorry, that's right, isn't it? On the back of a lorry you have these crates, and that was essentially our bedroom. We had 4 of us to 1 crate, and actually that was super lucky. You can have up to 8 people in these cramped conditions. You're recycling air all the time. So it wasn't the most clean conditions. We've just got to our cabins, which is our new base camp, as you can see outside. And this is my bed. This is Aaron's bed. And then we've got our roomies. What up, what up?
How we doing?
Your bed situation is so good. So this is where we're staying the next few nights. So other people have maybe 1 or 2 nights where they have to wait for a weather window, but you know, because we really wanted to summit and we don't like giving up, we waited until we had the right weather window, and that was up to 3 days. We were told that we were one of the groups that actually stayed there the longest amount of time. It was like being in your own ghost movie some nights, you know? A lot of people climb in July, August where the weather is more stable, but in September it's just totally unpredictable. You can have a beautiful, bright, sunny day, which we had multiple times. However, there was days where you looked out of your window and you couldn't see anything. A blizzard would just come in out of nowhere. At one point our crates were frozen shut, so in the middle of the night, if you needed the toilet, you couldn't leave the crate, and you don't want to be going outside in 100 km/h winds on your own. So in overall, we were in these crates for about 5 days. I wanted to talk a little bit about how my skin is feeling while I'm in the cold air. So, as you know, I've got psoriasis on my elbows. That is drying out quite a lot. But for me, that's not too painful, but for me it's the eczema. So on the inside of my elbows, that is burning because the clothes are rubbing constantly on it, and it's getting hot and sweaty and itchy. So when I'm walking, I can constantly feel this burning on the inside of my elbows. These patches weren't here when I got here, so I don't know if maybe that's stress from the climb that we're doing or whatnot. But yeah, it's like travelling upwards a little bit, so it's getting quite dry, as you can see, the white on here. I didn't sleep very well at all last night. Now we've got a really difficult day today. We're going up to around 5,000 meters. And it's gonna be really cold. Okay, so it's Tuesday, 2nd of October today, 2018, and we're still on Mount Elbrus, as you can see. We've had to layer up even more today. I've got my base layers on, I've changed my glasses to my category 4 sunglasses because of the glare, and we're heading on up there, up to just under 5,000 meters today. Last night we slept okay, but we were sliding off down the bed a little bit, and me and Aaron were having some heart palpitations and things, but apart from that,
we're good. So let's hope that we acclimatise well to it. You can see up on the traverse up there a line of, it looks like little ants, like little dots of people, but they really should have been summiting for sunrise. It's now quite late to be trying to summit because there's a cloud coming in, so I dread to think of how it feels up there right now. So that cloud in front of us, that big grey one, is a lenticular cloud, which means trouble basically. So I wouldn't want to be getting caught in that.
So we set off on a beautiful sunny day and we're just walking up and up and up the mountain. And then I'm looking behind and I can see these clouds coming in and I'm thinking, oh, it's fine, you know, I'm not going to get stuck in any storms, like no one will possibly let us be in a storm on a mountain.
We're currently sitting around 500 meters or so, which is the highest I've ever been. And we got some conditions going on right now. Jesus Christ!
We were on the side of the mountain. Aaron, I just turned around, he's going, woohoo! This is awesome! And I'm like, I'm literally death staring Aaron like, what? Stop! You know when you're frozen with fear and you don't know what to do? Like my legs were wanting to move, but they wouldn't.
How are you doing?
I'm fine now, but there's a point up there where I just sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Where I just lost my head. Like I couldn't. There was a point where we were kind of really quite on the gradient, and it was just white, snow bashing in your face, and I couldn't see out of my sunglasses because my sunglasses steamed up. I was bloody crying as well, so I couldn't see anymore. And then we had to go over this ice bit, and my legs were just like,
What the scary thing was that we knew there was people higher up than us.
And when this blizzard set in, we found out later that the team had actually split in half. And half of the team said, no, screw it, we don't mind the blizzard, we're gonna keep going to the top. And the other half were like, no, this is just gonna get worse, we're heading down.
Like, I'm not trying to sound like a drama queen here, but if you're stuck up there and the snowcat can't get to you and a snow blizzard comes in like that, that's how people die on this mountain, because you just freeze.
There's nothing you can do. You're trapped there.
We're just gonna have to wait it out at the base camp
and hope that everybody up there is gonna be okay.
We get below the blizzard and find out that second half of the team had not come down yet. And at that point, the conditions were just extremely bad. The emergency evacuation potential it doesn't exist. Just before we hit camp, we turn around and we see the snowcat just slowly coming out of the blizzard. And you had the 6 team members that had attempted to continue to summit, and they finally had made it down. They were wrecked. A lot of them had to have some emergency blankets put on them with heat packs. Vladimir, our guide, who's hiked this mountain hundreds of times, has said that last time there was a storm this bad, a team of 11 who had attempted to summit had actually died because the storm was just too severe and they were above where the snowcat could get them down. This climb is no joke. We are dealing with life or death situations here.
Morning there, sunshine. How are you doing today?
I feel like shit.
Why? What's happening?
I've been trying to get up for like the last 20 minutes. Like, my head is pounding. And I feel really weak. Like, I've got no energy whatsoever. And, like, I can't even bother to go to breakfast.
Do you think it's a sign of EMS then? Your headache?
I don't know. You've had headaches though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the sheer terror from yesterday. But thankfully we've got a full rest day today, so yeah. That was the most scariest day of my life. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
That was the end of my baking career.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. I didn't think I was gonna be able to do any more catwalks.
But we lived to say the story.
Yeah. until summit night. Hi guys, so welcome to, I don't know if it's day 4 or 5 or I've lost count to be honest, on Mount Elbrus mountain. And what I have behind me is you can see a beautiful long drop, and that is a toilet for the next few days. I've heard a lot about these, they're pretty infamous. Essentially, you go in there, you do whatever, and the contents just drop off the side of the mountain. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So let's do this. This is technically some wood, metal beds inside a metal crate on the side of a mountain, and this is called our high base camp. And we are literally sat in a snow blizzard with nothing much to do. We've got no signal.
What you got on there?
I'm just literally going through pictures on my phone. I'm about a year ago now to Costa Rica. I'm so bored, I'm literally just going through my life. We think we've had lots of conversation, but then we look at the watch and 20 minutes have gone by and we've still got a whole nother day to go. Like, how many conversations did we have yesterday? We must have talked about every topic under the sun.
It felt like we were talking forever.
Forever. Like, I'm even bored of sleep. And I love sleep. Everyone that knows me knows I love sleep. And I'm even bored of that. So, it's a mind game. This is a mental mind game. How are you feeling, Aaron?
I'm feeling the same way.
Like,
it's just
how
like,
bored are you? Like, going inside!
It's like every minute feels like an hour.
Let me out!
Technically, we were all strangers to begin with. None of us knew each other. I didn't know you, Aaron, before we'd obviously spoken, but we'd met on Holonis, the platform. And so everyone went there individually, which is, you know, quite scary. A lot of people wouldn't necessarily go on their own, even on a holiday, let alone to go climb a mountain. So that's quite a unique experience in itself. I think when our team leader, Paul, had signed up, he said that he signed the paper before he looked at who he had. So he said that normally he has serious mountaineers who are in insurance or whatever, and he looks at the list and he's like, right, so I've got a baker who's been on television recently for being a great baker, and then you've got a beauty queen, which was me, Miss Europe World, which aren't, you know, in some people's minds, you know, the best mountaineers, but obviously, you know now that we are. And then you've got a guy that has limited sight, which was Jack.
All my friends at home will be having Sunday brunch right now, probably mimosa. And I'm
Change direction.
on the side of a mountain in Russia.
Stop.
It's alive.
There you go. And then now to my voice up here.
So everyone is English, and then you've got Aaron from California who comes in with like all this massive equipment. He's got a tripod, he's got a drone, he's got a GoPro, he's got like multiple cameras, and he's running outside in blizzards at 5 in the morning going, I've got to capture this, and he's hardly got any clothes on because he's just woken up, and I just see him outside in his leggings like, ah! So you've got that, and then you've got Kieran, who's a builder for one of our you know, top echelons of society in England.
200 meters.
4,200.
Highest yet. But we've
Paul,
made it.
that's the guy that's bringing us up. Our daddy crew.
What was really amazing was that in such a short space of time, I've just met these people. We got to know each other so fast when you're in an environment that's extreme. And also you're having days on end where you're just in each other's company. You get to know each other very fast. I think I know more of some people's habits than some of my friends that I've known for life.
I'm just nervous about not getting to the top.
No, you'll get to the top, you'll be fine. We're all getting to the top. No one's allowed to not get to the top. And even though you've been mean to me, I will stretch out my hand and help you up to the side.
I've been mean to you.
Huh?
I've been mean to you.
Okay.
On paper, this was an extremely unique mix of people. Well, the funny thing is, it wasn't just 1 or 2 people, it was the whole group was very different to your normal, you know, mountaineer. But we're all mountaineers now, for sure.
Oh.
Morning.
Morning. Yeah, it looks a bit stormy up there still.
Over the next 3 days, we have potential summit windows on 2 of them. And until then, we're straight up just stuck at this upper base camp, staring at the mountain, which just is, I mean, if you could see it through this, it's just right there. It's almost like you can reach out and touch it. And it's just like taunting us. You summit under the good graces of the mountain. And it is up to the mountain whether you are let to the top or not.
We had to do some training on the mountain. You'll see that we have ice picks, we have helmets, and we have crampons, and we have these for a reason.
The ants, which is this bit at the end here, not this bit, is away from you all the time. That's right. All the time. So that's facing the way you're walking. Okay, even if you have to change hands, it has to face the way you're walking. The rationale for that is the simple arrest. Is when you bring this up, this goes into the snow. If you're holding it the other way and you bring this up, it can bring you something quite dangerous to a vulnerable area. This is the adze, and the adze is always facing away from you. Okay, that's how you hold it.
You can use poles for some parts of the slopes, but then higher up, you'll notice on summit night that you have to start using an axe pick. And essentially what we were doing, we were just throwing ourselves down the side of quite steep slopes and pretty much learning on the job how to stop.
Oh. Sorry, Mum, forgive me.
All of a sudden you'd be gathering speed and you're like, hold on a minute, like I now have to stop myself, and so you roll over on your front. You've got like a really big sharp thing that you then have to try and avoid yourself and plug into the mountain to then stop yourself. Aaron was like a little action figure. He would just like jump and then turn and like woo and then stop. Apparently you don't have to use it that often, but we had to use it, and that's all that matters, that you practice that skill and you can do it.
Okay, well done, and walk across the slope. Axe, step, axe. Step, start walking up.
I'll count us in. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
We move it, 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 we move it. In Mount Elbrus, the mighty Elbrus, LUISSA, Aaron, Anthony.
Our
Toes are cold and I feel our nose, and we are on the way. But we don't bumble away.
I already did some reorganisation this morning.
Don't need to mess it up and give something to do.
No. I already took my batteries out of the headlamp.
As you can see, Thursday, and then we've got this window of sun, sun, clear, sun, sun. But you can see the minus, this is the wind chill down here. So minus 37, around there.
What sort of wind chill are we looking at when we summit? If we summit on Friday?
Well, on Saturday it's going to be negative 31.
Wow.
So it's still going to be cold, but
Yeah.
it'll be sunny.
We're just informed by our team leader at breakfast that today is going to be a crazy storm. So we're definitely going to have to be all huddled up for the day, and it's looking like our only potential summit window is now Saturday morning. And it has to be Saturday morning because if we can't make it up on Saturday, we don't make it up at all. We all have to go home and maybe try our luck again some other year. We've been here for what feels like a really long time in these little huts. And you could see that morale
dropped a little when Paul informed us that we definitely were not going to be summiting at 2 a.m. So I'll keep you all posted. We're really hopeful for a Saturday morning summit.
What are we doing?
We are getting ready for the summit. So this is Aaron's bed, and so far this is everything. Is this everything you're going to be wearing?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a lot of things that we're going to be wearing, and then in here we have what he's going to be taking up, and something that we can't show you yet. Goggles. Do I need those to wear?
I'm starting with my goggles,
You're
yeah.
starting with goggles.
I'm gonna put my sunglasses.
Aaron is the oracle. Like, this is
This
how
is
it's
me.
supposed to be. And then I'm the shit show. I can't breathe. Why can't
Do you want to open the window?
No, it's not because it smells in here. I'm like, I'm getting like stressed. Well, I was about to say, you try and climb to the summit, but you climb it with me, aren't you?
I'll be there.
I mean, you people watching. Oh, my sash.
Don't forget the sash.
No. I know why you're filming me, to make me get this done. Because you know...
You gotta keep going, right?
You know, if you film me, that I have to do it and not leave it till after dinner.
You're already almost done.
It's
and
very good tactics.
It's only
though.
been 10 minutes.
No, it's very good tactics. You know me too well. Alright. So line those all up next to my crampons. Look, it's actually meant to how many things we need.
It
isn't
is.
it? Okay, I think. Axe. Right, we're done.
Yeah.
Let's go! Nervous?
Yeah, a little bit.
You nervous? Yeah. You feeling nervous, Anthony?
Yeah, really nervous.
Me too. I'm actually, appreciating it now.
I suspect we won't be using these at all, because I suspect we'll see each other, and I suspect we'll have a visual all the time. I might see you up there, but do you know what? I'm going to check just to make sure you're okay. And when I say you're okay, the people around you are okay. So the people around Vlad, the people around the guy at the back, and the people around me. So between 4 radios, we should cover everybody we've got in our team. Because although we might not be in handshaking distance, there might be someone in front or someone behind, so we should have that covered. Okay? But my job is to ensure I know where all my team is and to make sure all of them are kind of safe.
Sure.
Okay? But that's just a bit of backup that you have in your arsenal that you can pull that out.
The nerves all day before, I just felt not sick. I wasn't sick from any other reason. Like, it wasn't like an actual physical sickness. It was just nerves. It's a sense of foreboding. You know that you've got to wake up in the dark and start trekking in the dark into the unknown. You've already had a bad experience with the blizzard that we'd had a few days before, so you just don't know really what's going to happen. You know, you've already had teams come down who have almost died themselves, so you know, it's scary. For some reason we decided to tell ghost stories before we went to bed, because I don't think any of us actually wanted to go to sleep and leave each other, because we all knew that we were quite scared.
Alright, looks like you're almost all ready to go.
Yes, I am. I've just got to eat some breakfast and brush my teeth. So, are you feeling nervous?
Yeah, definitely.
I was last night, but now I'm just like, let's just do this. Like, I'm not even thinking about it now. I'm just like, right, let's go.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, we're just about ready to leave, yeah. It's almost 3:30.
So excited.
Pretty much packed up.
Goodbye, tin crate. It's been nice knowing you.
Here we go.
This big snow cap, which is like a big snowplow thing, which takes you to your starting point just outside of the base camp. Sitting on that snowcat in the dark, crushed up against everyone else who's also silent, not wanting to speak. Everyone's so quiet because it was just like this, oh, what are we going into? Where are we going? What are we doing? I was having all kinds of thoughts going through my head. It wasn't doubts, because I knew that this was something that I wanted to do, but I was definitely a bit concerned. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, buddy. Oh, man.
Take your rucksack off, put it in front of you to do it. How are you doing?
Good.
Great.
Look at that.
How you doing, Aaron?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can't even believe what's going on.
This is just, I can't even describe this situation. The sun's come up. I can't even breathe, can you?
We're making our way up the traverse right now. We are being greeted with the most amazing sunrise you could ever imagine.
The Russian guide, and then I was first after him, and then after me was Aaron, and then like the other guys, and at the back was Anthony with another guide that we had called Dimitri, who was just there for the summit night. And we heard this commotion going on. I was like, oh, what's going on? And I see Dimitri come up behind me and start talking Russian to Vladimir, our guide. And he's like, oh, he needs to go back. And I'm like, what? Someone needs to go back. And I turn around and I just see Anthony like huddled on the floor, like unable to move, like shaking. And Dimitri just had to handle it, take Anthony down, and you have to keep going on with what you're doing. As I'd just finished the traverse and started the saddle, I'd started breathing really strangely, and it kind of came on slow. The only way I could describe it is if you, like how you would imagine if you were a fish and you've been taken out of water and you're like, like I couldn't breathe. It was not even scary, it was really terrifying. After the saddle, we went up something called the Elbrus Sky. You've got ropes that you need to clip onto, and that's why we had harnesses, that's why we had carabiners, why we had the ropes. In all of this amount of time that we had trekking, we had a total of 6 minutes. In 2 breaks. And so I literally said to Vlad, I was like, please let me stop, like I cannot breathe. Got back up, and then that's when, so we're attached to Vlad, and I just felt this tug, and then I just spun around, and then next thing I know, my axe just went flying off down the side of the mountain, and I turn around and I see our teammate Kieran has slid off down the side at the slope, and he's just holding on, and he looks absolutely terrified. And that's when again I just started crying, and I could hear Aaron going, oh, I've got you, and he's like huddled up, like holding on super tight to this rope. And had Aaron not had that rope so tight, I think that you know, we all would have slid down with Kieran. He had to, after walking for hours and hours and hours, try and find the strength to pull himself back up, because we can't go and get him because we're all holding onto the rope. He came back up eventually, but he was completely shaken, and I'm so proud of him for getting the mental strength back to continue. He just stood back up and just carried on.
Sorry. Beauty queen style. You, round Elbrus. Aaron, this is why we're here.
You did this.
I know,
This
it's
is
all my
you.
fault.
This is all you.
It's all my fault.
I was looking at Vlad and I was saying, like, I don't know if I can do these last 100 meters, like, and I started freaking out a little bit, and I was wanting to turn around, but obviously I was never going to turn around. Imagine how crazy that is to be 100 meters from somewhere after all of you've just done, to feel like you want to turn around at that last 100 meters. How bad must you feel? I think a lot of people would have maybe turned back had they been going through that feeling.
On top of Europe. Oh man.
I almost down there. I made it anyway.
A lot of people do have preconceived notions of beauty queens. It's a really cool feeling to know that you've changed the perception of what people are going to think of you.
The world.
And this is for my friend. This is for my friend that made it here.
When I was going through this mental thing with the guide, I could see Aaron there, and he could have gone off and gone summited and just left me, because obviously he wanted to personally summit himself. But the fact that he waited for me made me feel, like, oh, we are a team, we're in this together, like, we came here together to complete this mission. He was going to complete it with, oh, I'm going to cry. Oh, thank you, come here. Oh, thank you. People don't make me cry very often, but look what you've done. Oh wow, okay.
I'm absolutely mashed times. Like, we've still got so far. I did it so though. Proud to say that out of all the teams that summited today, I had the person on my team who was the first to the summit. Well done, Jack.
Oh,
you are actually my inspiration. Oh, you're amazing. Sleigh ball.
To wrap it all up, we came out to Russia with a mission. We conquered it, we achieved it, we did it. A total bunch of randoms. It's like literally you got into a sweet store and just pick a mix of the most random people and just like, go climb Mount Elbrus. And we did it. And we are all amazing. Like, that's all I want to say. Like, everyone in my group is absolutely amazing. I'm so happy I've met them all, and they're definitely all my friends for life, and I love you all. Mwah.
That's a wrap.
Woo. say thank you so much to everyone that donated so far. I'm so extremely grateful. We aren't done yet though. We do have a target of 50,000 that we'd like to reach. So please, please, please donate. You can go to my Just Giving page and that will go directly to the charity from there, but it will also be added to the fundraising total that we have so far. So if you think that throwing Wanderlust Productions and a beauty queen up a mountain is worth a cheeky sponsor, even if it's just a little, if it's large or a little, it all helps and it all goes to the charity and it helps some amazing people that, you know, just, yeah. So wait, you can cut that bit. And it all helps.
One wrong move and I'm off down the mountain. Oh no. Okay, never mind. They found out.